The monarch is poisonous, so birds won't eat it. And then you've got other butterflies that mimic monarchs, right? The viceroy looks almost identical, just a little bit smaller, but it's not toxic. But the birds don't know.
Right.
And it's kind of faking its way through life, pretending to be this poisonous butterfly.
And that a lot of the underwings on some of the butterflies, when they have their wings closed, they look just like a dead leaf, like total camouflage.
Oh, yeah.
Like the dusky wings, I think.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of tricks to staying alive if you're a butterfly.
Welcome to the Wilderness Wavelength Podcast.
So welcome to it. My name is George, along with Scott Sunderwald.
Yeah, good to be here.
Welcome to the show, Scott. Man, that last episode, people loving it. You and Thane on the river, surviving.
Surviving Crazy Gunman and Crazy Rapids.
Yeah.
That was a good adventure.
Listen back to that one. That's wild. This episode going to be wild too. Biologist Beth back on the show. Welcome back, Beth.
Thanks, George. This is a wonderful opportunity to talk to you tonight.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. Beth MacCallum, Whiskey Jack Club, wjclub@telus.net. Email Beth and she'll sign you up to the list, the mailing list. And a lot of cool events happening around this summer. And this episode, we're going to talk about one that's going on in our neck of the woods, the butterfly count. How long have you guys been doing this for?
Well, Beth and I together have been doing the butterfly count for about 16 years, which is crazy. It's really gone by. It's been a blast. And the deeper you get into butterflies, the more you realize that there's more to know. You know, it's quite obsessive. Like we so often talk about charismatic critters like grizzlies and mountain lions and bighorn sheep, and yet right under our noses are these beautiful little creatures all around us. And a lot of us think they're all the same thing, but there's 181 different species and subspecies in Alberta alone. Wow. And so, we do these counts and try to identify different ones and work with universities and set them up on citizen science forums like eButterfly, and Beth can probably tell us even more about that process. So how long have you been at this, Beth?
I did start the Cardinal Divide butterfly count with Barb and Jim Beck beginning in 1999.
Wow. Okay.
And I think butterflies are an insect. We sort of don't think of them as insects, but they have to be the charismatic insect of that whole insect world. They're so beautiful, and they're daytime flyers and gorgeous little things.
Yeah. What's involved in a butterfly count? Can you break it down a little bit for us? What happens in something like this?
Well, we've got Scott, and he'll bring all kinds of equipment. We need nets. You need to cool the butterflies down once you catch them. There's a couple of techniques on how to catch them. Either you can run around trying to catch them, which is harder than it looks. Yeah. And you could swipe them from the air, or you can actually drop your net over a butterfly that might be perched on a flower or on the ground. And then we put them in little vials, and we cool them right away. Otherwise, they'd flat beat themselves and injure themselves. Yeah. So we put them in a cooler with ice, and they just cool down. And then we can take them out later and identify them from that.
I see.
So, yeah. Do you want to add a few more things?
No, that's
Scott?
very good. And then let them go at the end. So
we're not eating
it's a catch and release. Yeah. We're not filleting them on the side of the road or anything. Okay. But there's two techniques, as Beth mentioned. One we call the swish and flick. So that kind of, you can picture it in your mind. That's when they're flying at you through the air at Mach 5, and you swish them and flick the net shut.
Yeah.
The other is kind of like the witch's hat. You hold the tip of that net and you can drop it over a flower, and they instinctually fly up towards the sun. So then if you hold your net up, you can catch them in the very tippy top of your net and get the vial in there without them escaping. And it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. We're heading out tomorrow to Whitehorse Creek down by Catamount, and then the Cardinal Divide.
Yep.
Is that why are those locations, is it butterfly heavy down there, or?
We started, like I say, in 1999 with Jim and Barb Beck, and they had set butterfly counts all over Alberta.
Okay.
And they're using the same circles as the Christmas bird counts. And I think the special part about Whitehorse and Cardinal Divide especially, it's in the Alpine.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not very many places in Alberta that you can actually drive to the Alpine and do an event like this. And you may get different species in the Alpine as opposed to even Whitehorse Creek, which isn't that far away, but it's a different climate. So I think that's why this is special. And then Whitehorse Creek, honestly, we hardly even get down the trail before we've just got so many butterflies. It's amazing.
Well, Whitehorse Creek has everything butterflies are looking for. They like the mud or the minerals that they get from the dirt, horse poop.
Yeah,
they love that, and lots of flowers, moisture, the creek, and it's just a beautiful spot with the waterfalls.
Little waterfalls there.
Yeah, it's a fantastic time.
I love it. Do you have like a butterfly that you're trying to get on these hunts? Like, is there one you're sort of looking for? Like, I want to count monarch, or I don't know. Monarch's the butterfly I know. So,
well, so often it's the ones that you don't think that will be great. You see something mundane and dull, and you catch it and find out it's a very rare species.
Yeah,
I think Beth has a really good story about that with her son there. She can share.
Yeah, this was a number of years ago, and we were doing a butterflying in Mountain Park, which actually is part of the Cardinal Divide Circle.
Yeah.
And it was toward the end of the day, and there was a white butterfly going by, and my son just went after it, just galloping through the meadow, and he caught this. It just looked like, a white butterfly.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be a Smintheus parnassium, one of the most beautiful butterflies, gorgeous thing. And so you really can't take this for granted. I was just so amazed. And to have these things in your hand looking at them is a pretty special experience.
Well, I wonder if Beth remembers this, but we were in Rock Lake years ago. Like, I want to say 15 years ago, maybe. And some fellow actually rented horses and to be guided to find a special type of butterfly.
Wow.
And that was what he was doing for his vacation. And you and I were out there with some folks, and we actually caught the one that he was looking for. It was a rock. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but we kind of came back, what's this one? And by golly, you got the special butterfly, right? This thing that he's putting his whole vacation on. So there's these people who they get obsessed with this. So watch out, George. You're joining us tomorrow.
Yeah.
You might just go butterfly crazy.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
I saw you guys both brought in, is it the same book, these Alberta Butterfly?
It is. It's kind of the Bible of butterflies for the province. And there are many books on butterflies you can get, but specifically for Alberta, this thing is fantastic.
Are you guys use the books to identify? Have you tried using apps now? Is that the future where you're taking a picture of the butterfly and?
I think the book, this is designed for. It is. We do upload to eButterfly, which is a program which encourages use by many people, like citizen scientists.
Yeah.
But if you also record, it's not just here's a butterfly and you upload it. You also record your effort. So how long you've been out, if it's walking, how far you walked, and you put all this in as well. So then that becomes useful for identifying distribution, abundance, and for sort of more scientific work.
Yeah.
So I think, we do spend attention to all of those details and then upload it to eButterfly. I think the book, though, gives, there's keys in the book, there's pictures, there's descriptions. So when it's really hot and heavy, you've got all these butterflies to ID sitting around a table. The book would be more useful. You could just flip to that page or the key than waiting for something like on an app. I get that it must be available through, but I find the book in this situation isn't going to go away anytime soon.
Yeah.
And there's always some tricky ones. So, Beth and I can usually identify the common stuff, and then you'll you'll hit something that's really new or tricky, and it's nice to sit down with the dichotomous key and really walk through it and look at those fine details to make sure we're identifying it correctly.
Yeah. Is there like a I'm just curious, is there like a cycle butterflies go to? Like, usually, like some years, like, oh, there's so many, and other years, not many, or you guys notice something like that?
Yeah, one year, everybody in the province was seeing painted ladies.
Okay.
Beautiful thing. I don't know if you remember that.
I remember that. Were schools setting them free? Because that was a thing for a while, but I don't know where they all came from. Because you could buy the kits online, and then classrooms were hatching them. So I wonder if that affected it, or if it was just the right time of year or the right temperature, right?
I think it was just a combination of effects like that. Some years you just have more butterflies. Now, painted ladies, do they migrate?
I don't know much about their migration. I remember we had quite a monarch year one year and found one way up in the Alpine. But yeah, to get back to your question there, George, absolutely. Like every time we do this, it's different. And that's the mystery of the ecosystem. There's so many factors, whether it's the temperature, the moisture, the different cycles, the wind, all of this stuff plays into it. So all of the citizen science helps us sort of take a good look at what's going on in nature for a snapshot on a single day, and it's quite interesting because it's always different.
Yeah, and then something like eButterfly, if you enter all your information rather quickly, it's almost like in real time, so that you could follow migration. Like this is these eButterfly now is all over North America, so you could actually follow migration. That's happened with eBird, a similar citizen science with birds, where you actually can almost follow the migration in real time just by people entering what they're seeing from their own location. It is really cool, actually. Yeah. And it just offers so much more like area and time that an individual, say, lab or research couldn't possibly cover. So you get the citizen science, and it just adds a whole lot of interpretation of what's happening out there.
And I think, with global warming, climate change across the planet, we're noticing all sorts of species that used to exist further south are moving further north, and e-butterfly is just one of those ways, and butterfly counting to do some environmental monitoring for that sort of thing. What are
the benefits of butterflies? They pollinators? Is that like they're like
yeah,
the main?
We often think that there has to be a reason for something to live.
Yeah.
But some things just live because they live. I've had people ask me, why do we have mosquitoes? I hate them. But if you're a frog, you like mosquitoes, spiders. So yeah, butterflies are pollinators, so they help spread pollen, and which propagates life in the plant kingdom. But they're just part of the diversity of the earth. It's just amazing.
A lot of things eat them too. They're dinner for quite a lot of other animals. So yeah, it's like Scott's saying, it's part of the ecosystem. Like butterflies help sort of maybe a bird, and so that's part of how it all goes around. Scott, you had a point there of schools hatching painted ladies, but I think that's and sometimes there's butterfly releases at events and whatever, but those really aren't that great of an idea, because you could be releasing butterflies and mixing up subpopulations, the genetics and everything. So, or even introducing maybe even disease or something as well.
Invasive species, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a fun idea, but it's not the most. It's more fun to go out and count them.
Yeah. I'm curious about the butterfly migration too. You guys have mentioned that a few times. Can we dig into that a little bit? Where do they go? How far are they going?
Sort of the king of migration is the monarch butterfly for sure. It migrates 3,000 miles across North America. weighs as much as a paper clip, and they're so big and beautiful. Beth, you had something neat to add to that about how it's they're doing a flight that they've never done before. Maybe explain a bit about that.
Yeah, when they're coming here, I think in Alberta, the monarchs overwinter in a specific location in Mexico, and as they're coming north, they actually have another whole set. They lay eggs, and they have another whole life event, and so the monarchs that finally arrive here have never been here. And so it's really amazing, actually, that they know where to go and when to go and then when to leave as well.
It's a mystery of life, right? Like we know that with salmon, they'll head to the ocean from their little spawning creeks and come back. But in this case, the monarchs have never been there, and they know where to go. So there's this genetic memory that's imprinted there, and how are they navigating? Same with birds, right? How do they navigate? Some speculate it's the stars or wind currents or even the Earth's magnetic energy, all of these things. But it's wonderful that nature has these mysteries still for us, right?
You guys got a favorite butterfly?
Oh, for me, it has to be the Sminthium parnaceum. It's kind of an awkward name, but it's that big, beautiful white. It is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Mine's the Milbert's tortoise shell, which is just stunningly beautiful. You got to look it up, but it's these gorgeous colors, and we'll sometimes catch those way up in the Alpine, and they're just stunningly beautiful. Yeah.
I like the idea of having more butterflies in like the backyard. How do you get butterflies in your backyard? Is there a trick to like plants you got to have or trees or?
Yeah, there's some people who are really into the butterfly garden thing, and really you want flowers that have a lot of nectar, things like marigolds that everybody knows, coneflowers, echinacea, black-eyed Susans, butterfly bush. There's one called butterfly bush. The name says it all. Cosmos. Again, these are things that people may have. Verbena is also an annual that people might plant. Milkweed's an interesting one because monarchs require milkweed, and so milkweed is by farmers often seen as noxious or something to get rid of because they don't want their cows chewing it up. It's not great for the milk and that sort of stuff for dairy. So I know when I worked on the prairies, people were eradicating the milkweed, but if you get rid of all the milkweed, you've just killed the monarch population. And so I remember going to a friend's backyard, and he was just ecstatic, and he said, "Come over here, I got this little milkweed growing in the garden." And we looked at it, and there were 2 chrysalis from monarch butterflies on the milkweed on one plant. They had found it amidst thousands of other plants, and I don't know how they can smell it, but they know it's there.
Yeah, that's amazing. And the milkweed has some kind of toxin associated, which the butterflies actually absorb. And they're beautifully colored, which is almost a warning to predators that I taste bad. So there's a lot of linkages there. But yeah, how does a monarch butterfly just zero in on that one milkweed?
How can they smell that or taste it in the air with thousands and millions of molecules? It's amazing. Yeah, and then you've got the mimics, right? So the monarch is poisonous, so birds won't eat it. And then you've got other butterflies that mimic monarchs, right? The viceroy looks almost identical, just a little bit smaller, but it's not toxic. But the birds don't know.
Right.
And it's kind of faking its way through life, pretending to be this poisonous butterfly.
And that a lot of the underwings on some of the butterflies, when they have their wings closed, they look just like a dead leaf, like total camouflage.
Oh, yeah.
Like the dusky wings, I think.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot of tricks to staying alive if you're a butterfly.
That's such an important point. So they can rest looking like a leaf so they don't get eaten, or in the rain, they just disappear. You think there's no butterflies, and then the sun comes out, and boom, they're everywhere. And then the big showy part of the dorsal wing is often used in mating attraction, sexual attraction. And it's said that the females can tell if a male isn't fully symmetrical, like they're actually judging what's going on there, which is incredible. Wow. Yeah.
Harsh.
Yeah. It's a harsh world for a butterfly. You get a bad hair day and you're messed up.
You have used some like fancy words. Like I'm, brand new to this. So like chrysalis, like I'm picturing cocoon. Is that same sort of thing?
So cocoon is sort of the common vernacular, but cocoons are more associated with moths.
Okay.
So if you see a cocoon, they're more silky, and there's a moth that's forming inside of it. The chrysalis is a harder shell, often looks kind of waxy, and that's associated with butterflies. But both are pure magic. The metamorphosis, the critter goes from a caterpillar and actually turns into this soup inside of the chrysalis and starts reforming into something completely different. I mean, it's just really miraculous, magical. Use whatever word you want, enchanted, that it comes out as something completely different and so glorious, really, really quite amazing.
Can you identify the butterfly from the caterpillar? Like you're looking at a caterpillar, you say, "Oh, that's
some
going to
you
be."
can, some you can. Again, monarchs are pretty bold, and you find a monarch caterpillar, and they're pretty easy to tell. But it's a whole science unto its own. It's for anybody listening who's into birding. First, you learn your birds, and then you pick a feather off the ground, try to identify the bird from the feather, and then maybe you find a nest with eggs, and try to figure out what kind of bird was there from the eggs, which is a whole nother step. So you certainly can with butterflies.
Yeah. Do you guys do a caterpillar count? Is that?
No,
Nothing like that going on. No.
that would be
That'd be pretty tricky.
pretty tricky. Every leaf, every little piece of bark, every willow, you name it.
Do you know
They're
other
herbivores? The caterpillars are herbivores, unlike the adults, which are mostly they'll actually eat a lot more than just nectar, but very different than the caterpillars.
Mm-hmm.
So not a herbivore, what would they be considered then?
The caterpillars are, oh, you mean the adults?
Like the adults.
Pollinators?
Pollinators?
Yeah. And as we said, some of them like dung and minerals. Some of them will eat rotten meat. They'll land on rotten meat. So it's a very interesting thing. And they've got that proboscis, which is like this big straw type thing, which uncurls, which they can lap up nectar with and get deep into a flower. But you asked about moths and butterflies. When we do butterfly hunting, a lot of people accidentally catch moths. So we have to do a little educating with the group beforehand. And the easiest way we found, there's quite a few differences between moths and butterflies, but the easiest is to look at the antenna. So a butterfly antenna looks like a matchstick. It has a little knob at the end, like a match.
Okay.
And whereas a moth is sort of a straight antenna without any knob, or it can be feathered. So that's a really quick way to tell if you've caught something. Because moths also fly around in the daytime. They're not all nighttime. Mostly
you're not interested in moths, though?
Well, there's a whole other moth study. So you got to go with a different club on a different day, dude.
And it's nighttime stuff, so you got to get out there at 10 o'clock at night. So
bright lights and sheets and all that stuff to catch.
So for me, running around in the daytime after these beautiful creatures, I kind
in the middle of an alpine meadow. Yeah, it sounds a little nicer. Yeah. Do you know of other butterfly hunts going on in Alberta?
On Saturday, Jasper's hosting a butterfly count.
Okay.
This coming Saturday, and there are other butterfly counts all over Alberta, and I don't have the names or the dates offhand right now.
They are quite common, and there's the Lepidoptera Association or Society Club, and that's a great way to start if you're trying to get into butterfly hunting. Look them up online.
How do you spell Lepidoptera?
Oh, geez, way to put me on the spot.
Gotta have an L in there somewhere, I think.
And essentially it's a butterfly club, and they'll post their events and they'll go all over the province to catch butterflies. And then it's nice to rub shoulders with people who have actually done it and know how to identify them. And that's a fantastic way to start.
You mentioned 181 species in Alberta. Any idea how many you guys have got in the past, as you mentioned, 16 years or however long you've been doing it?
Yeah, I just kind of looked at the last 15 years. In the Cardinal Divide, we've had a total of 39 species.
Wow.
You won't get that every time you go. If it's bad weather, you might get 9 species. I think sort of 23 might be the most we've had in one day. But when you put it all together, we've had up to 39 species.
And remember, those 39 are going to be fairly specific to that ecosystem. So if you go in the valley, you're going to get something very different. Or you go, further in the montane forest, you're going to get something different again. So that's the cool thing about butterfly hunting, is every ecosystem is a little bit different, and that's what makes it exciting.
Yeah, even bogs will have certain butterflies that like that kind of environment. Yeah, so wherever you go, it can be different.
Yeah. We went to the Calgary Zoo last summer, and they have like a big butterfly auditorium, I guess. I don't know. But it was amazing. I mean, everywhere you're going, it's just the whole room seems like it's flying. Scott, you mentioned you did some of this a while ago when you were in school?
Yeah. Former life, I worked at a science center. I was director of programming, and we had all sorts of science exhibits. We would do whales or dinosaurs or you name it. So,
when are we doing a dinosaur count?
Yeah, I'd love to. But I still remember the board meeting, and our executive director was kind of a gruff man, and he's like, Scott, John, can you guys build us a butterfly conservatory? They're all the rage, blah, blah, blah. He had seen one in Ontario. We're like, yeah, how hard can it be? So he gave us a few $1,000 off of the budget, and I went and sourced out who was selling butterfly chrysalis in Canada, because we couldn't get them across the border. And there was this elderly fellow out of Ontario. He was the only game in town. Now, this is quite a few years ago. And he had all these tropical butterflies. Some of these were the size of dinner plates, just gorgeous, fantastic colors, see-through wings, you name it. And so I spent a few $1,000s ordering the best of the best chrysalis. So all these chrysalis come to Saskatchewan. We have a beautiful auditorium set up for them. Like, I researched all the plants. We had sunshine coming through the windows. We had fountains. We had fruit. We hung all the chrysalis up, and people would walk through and take pictures of them. And it was this sort of countdown for when are they going to hatch?
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be amazing. So one day they almost all hatched at the same time. And suddenly we had these gorgeous butterflies. We even had some classical music. Like, it was magical, right?
Yeah.
And the magic ended in just a few seconds, because what we didn't realize, that butterflies are so attracted to sunlight that these gorgeous things, think of the size of your hand and a dinner plate, like this beautiful creature who's just been hanging there waiting to hatch. And they flew straight to the windows and beat themselves to death in a matter of seconds. So the exhibit designer and I were just freaking out, cover the windows! So we ran across with big sheets of dark paper, and we had the staff tape up all the windows. And now the butterflies couldn't find any natural sunlight. But even if there was a tiny sliver of sunlight, they'd find it and beat themselves to death on the sunlight. And then we're like, well, what are we going to do now? The room is dark and disgusting. So we thought, well, we got to emulate sunshine. So we went and found sodium lights, like these big stadium lights, and had to rent them. They were stinking expensive. Massive lights we brought in so that the plants could still grow with the full ultraviolet spectrum. And then the butterflies still wanted to fly into the sodium lights, so we had to buy these massive fans to put next to the lights to blow the butterflies away from killing themselves on the lights. And the whole thing was like, I stepped back and I was like, John, we can't emulate Mother Nature. Like we suck at this. Like the butterflies just want what's natural, and it was a big lesson in how complex an ecosystem really is to strike that perfect balance. We did the best we could. We kept them alive, and they were eating fruit, and people loved it. But
Yeah.
it was a comedy of errors. Yeah, it's not that easy.
That's not something you want kids to see. Then all the butterflies dead on the floor there. Hey?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, every one of them, I was like, "That's $15 on the floor that just ran into the window," you know. So yeah.
Beth, on the last episode you were on, now that Scott mentioned like the giant butterflies, you'd mentioned you had kind of like your bucket list spots to go to see the Harlequin ducks or the ducks around. Is there a spot in the world where like you'd want to go to see butterflies?
Oh, I can't maybe be specific, but Scott was talking about like some of these tropical butterflies, these, huge, enormous things. That would be something to see, really. So some place tropical where they had these like utterly beautiful things, but very large. That would be nice. I don't have a specific place.
Maybe New Zealand. You got to do like maybe New Zealand when you're down looking at the ducks. You could see like some kind of amazing butterflies down there.
Costa Rica, probably. You know, some of these tropical areas. The big ones that we get, even people listening here in Alberta, the swallowtails.
Oh, yeah.
Tiger swallowtails, Canadian swallowtails, they're gorgeous and every bit as bright and big and beautiful as tropical butterflies. And they do like the edges of puddles, the edges of a lake, you know, and they seem to like those minerals. So I'm sure people have seen them. Those are those gorgeous striped yellow ones.
Yeah.
With tails. They'll have
with big tails. Yeah.
Okay.
And when you go hunting with us, George, they move at like 100 miles an hour when they're flying. Yeah. So good luck.
Yeah.
Butterflies been on the menu before for you out in the middle of nowhere?
No, as Beth said, Mother Nature has a warning for many things. So think about this for a second. It even extends to mammals. So a skunk is striped black and white. There's a reason for that. That is a color warning to everything that don't mess with me.
Yeah.
I've got some toxicity going on here. Think of wasps and bees and their color pattern. There's fish in the ocean that have these brilliant colors, or poisonous snakes. And what they're telling you in nature's language is mess with me and you'll regret it. And butterflies are the same way. So as far as wilderness survival, just stay away from butterflies. If you're going to eat bugs, go for grasshoppers. Worms are disgusting. I've eaten them. Grasshoppers are okay, but stay away from butterflies.
Okay. The podcast question of the week this week I wanted to get into too, because Beth kind of touched on this too before, but we were just talking, what are your favorite insects? Craig wrote in dragonfly. Jeff said the honeybee. Lacey wrote in daddy long legs. Scott, you said praying mantis favorite?
Yeah, can I just segue before we carry on? So I've raised a few praying mantises, and they are crazy critters. They're like an alien from outer space, the way they look with that head, and they can swivel it from side to side, and they can really focus. And they're kind of like gladiators, because when I was a teenager, I'd bring them back from Spain and other places to Germany and keep them for months. And you could put like a big hairy wolf spider in there, and you could see it. He would just study that spider, and then he'd slowly stalk up to it, and he'd take it down and eat it. And it was just it was crazy. They're very, very powerful. In fact, some of the biggest ones can even eat birds, little birds.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez. I was trying to figure out, I was like going through like, what's my favorite insect? I think ladybugs. I mean, I feel like butterfly is going to be on the list after tomorrow, but I like ladybugs. We had aphids, a ton of aphids in our tree out here last year. And so I was just trying to figure like, what do we do about that? And they said, just find some ladybugs, bring them out. So we went, got a couple ladybugs we found while we were walking, brought them back here. And now that our whole fence is covered in ladybugs and no aphids this year. So,
oh, that's cool.
Yeah, worked out. Beth, you got a favorite insect?
Boy, that's a hard one. There's so many. I love spider eyes, all those crazy eyes. Like I don't even know why they need all those eyes or how they work. But
arachnids. Yeah,
arachnids are kind of fascinating, and ants are too. Like they're just there's a lot more ant species than we think out there, and their organizational structure and everything. They're mostly annoying, of course, but yeah.
We have a giant cricket here. Did you know about this?
Giant cricket.
It's called a grig. There's another name. Some people call them cave crickets, and I found a few. They are the size of my thumb, and I have a big fat thumb. Usually you'll find them if you flip logs. And I think when bears are flipping logs looking for grubs, they're looking for that. Like it would be like eating a little chicken ball if you're into that. But the grigs and they'll make the males will make a call at night. So we've had university scientists come out to this area to study grigs, and they'll go out at night and use the calls and try to find them. Which is pretty cool. A lot of people don't know they're right here in the Northern Rockies. And of course, fireflies and glowworms. I mean, fantastic. And one year we had them at the Beaver Boardwalk, like crazy. And then I didn't see any of them. So it's interesting how that works. Eh?
Yeah. And then what's the insect that at 17 years it finally comes out?
Oh,
cicadas?
Right. And they live for only a very short period and mate and die.
Mate and die. And yep, that's amazing.
What a life, eh, George?
What is it, 17 years of what?
17 years of waiting to be born or to birth or to...
What? I've never heard of this before.
Yeah.
Like they're in an egg for 17 years?
I think they're in an egg form for 17 years.
Yeah. Like
and then they hatch.
And then hatch the fly, and they don't even have time to eat. They just find a mate.
Yeah.
Mate,
Get
lay eggs,
over with.
die.
Jeez. That's quite the life. Wow.
Well, that's like with the butterflies. Once they've mated, there really is no reason for them to live after that. So they do not actually live very long as adults.
Most of them are done in 2 weeks.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
The one that we see differently is the morning cloak, which I love. The morning cloak, not as morning as in good morning, but morning as in if you were in a time of mourning or grief with a funeral. So they're a beautiful butterfly. They're fairly dark, and they've got this white rim around the wing, and they're quite large. And they're often the first one you see in spring and the last one you see in fall. And because they can freeze solid through the winter and then come back to life. Like, it's just amazing that they can do that.
Yeah, as an adult, they actually overwinter as
they
an adult.
overwinter, yeah.
Wait, so you said some of these butterflies are living 2 weeks? Like they become a butterfly, live for 2 weeks, and then die?
That's sort of maxed out. Yeah,
Holy.
Some of them are even less than that.
Wow.
So as Beth said, their job is to fly around, find a mate.
Yeah.
And a lot of these insects, period, that go through metamorphosis, they spend more time in a pupa or a nymph stage or a caterpillar stage than they do in the adult stage, like dragonflies. Dragonflies will live in the lake for a couple of years as nymphs before they form into an adult. And again, as an adult, they're mostly there just to mate, lay eggs, and die. So, yeah.
Not to put you on the spot, I'm just curious. Do you know, so how long a butterfly stays as a caterpillar to like how long they're staying in the chrysalis to... I
would say it has to deal with the species. That's how I'm going to dodge that. But because I'm sure they're all a little bit different. But yeah, because a lot of them will overwinter as eggs, right?
Okay.
So eggs could be months and months, and then they eat and fatten up as caterpillars for quite a while, much longer than the adult stage. And then the adult stage, after they come out of the chrysalis, they're there for 2 weeks. Get it on and lay eggs. Yeah. Wow.
Okay, I looked that up a little bit before I came.
Oh,
so
perfect.
All right.
A larva caterpillar can live for weeks, months, or even 2 years because they can overwinter as
wow.
As
2 years.
Yeah, as a caterpillar as well.
Amazing.
I got to imagine the monarchs, though, like if they're flying 3,000 miles, they got to be old.
but they don't. They actually mate halfway through the trip and
Yeah.
lay eggs, and then that new crop finally
Keeps going on.
Keeps going on.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, normally I think in this part of the country, the butterflies would just have one set
Yeah.
a year. Maybe farther south they might be able to, if the summers were longer and whatnot, they may be able to have 2 sets.
You mentioned the guy in Rock Lake that had went out in search of the one butterfly. Do you find that on these butterfly counts you're like running into some people that are like
Oh yeah,
super passionate?
We run into hardcore people. Yeah, they're this is what they do, and they're wearing butterfly T-shirts. They're butterfly crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it really can get addictive once you get into it. And it's funny. I like to tell the story of dads who come out to these because as tough guys, we're beyond butterflies. Butterflies are not very
They're
cool.
for kids.
They're for
Right.
kids, or your grandmother likes them on a mug or a T-shirt. But these dads sit back and kind of watch this whole thing. Think they've been dragged there, it for a fact. And then once the dads start going, they recognize what an athletic endeavor it is to catch these things, and it's hard. They're running at warp speed through the daisies, trying to swish these things, and they don't want to quit once they get started.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like playing tennis,
You're on
right?
the track, yeah.
So it's really a physical workout to chase these butterflies through meadows, especially when the wind and sun is up. They're moving fast.
I got a couple would you rathers. You got a couple would you rathers too we got to get into, Scott. Do you got would you rathers butterfly related ones?
Oh yeah, there's all butterfly related.
Oh wow. Okay, good. I got a would you rather kind of butterfly related too. Would you rather have wings of a butterfly or the wings of a bee? Butterfly a little more like large and lofty, I guess.
I think wings of a bee. I find butterflies so haphazard in their flight. Bees are a little more precise.
Yeah, a little more lasered in. Yeah. Okay.
How about you, Beth?
Oh, why not a butterfly?
Going for the beauty.
Going for the beauty and the
Yeah.
gorgeous large wings.
Right.
What's yours, Scott?
I got a few here. So, Beth, I know for a scientist, these would you rathers are painful for you. So you're just going to have to just pretend you're 10 years old again around the campfire, okay? But first of all, butterflies can taste with their feet. We just got to get that out there. That's how they taste.
Taste with their feet.
They taste with their feet,
Okay.
and they can tell what type of plant it is and if the nectar's good. So the question is, would you rather be able to taste with your feet like a butterfly or be able to see in ultraviolet, which they also can? So they can see a whole color spectrum that we can't.
Ultraviolet, yeah.
Ultraviolet.
Ultraviolet. Birds can see ultraviolet beyond what we see too.
Isn't that
So-
cool?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like it would be completely different.
Yeah.
The world to see that. Eh?
George, be like being on shrooms.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, everything's a whole other dimension there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've heard.
Yeah. Apparently.
Another would you rather? Would you rather be able to fly haphazardly like a butterfly or be able to attract friends and mates with pheromones? So pheromones are a scent that you give off from your body, and it's used to attract sexual mates
Right.
and that sort of thing. So
Yeah.
2 superpowers. You can either flop around like a butterfly in the sky or attract a mate with pheromones.
Do I got to
Maybe-
be symmetrical
Maybe
too?
you're
or
already
that-
doing the pheromone thing, George. I
I
don't
don't
know.
think so. The wife's always telling me I'm stinking. But yeah. I think, I want to fly.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Haphazard flight?
Yeah.
How about you, Beth?
Yeah, I think there's probably other ways to attract mates. So I'll do the flight. I'll do the flight.
I don't know. The pheromones seem kind of like this secret
is cool,
superpower.
yeah.
You just walk into the bar and be like, hey, baby.
Yeah. I feel like that's happening already. I think that's like part of like the new age is people are spraying pheromones on them.
Well, that's the whole idea with some of these aftershaves and
Oh, yeah,
colognes.
colognes.
They're using different musks and that, but I don't know. They got to test them on women is what they got to do.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just bad
Yeah,
marketing.
Usually they just smell awful.
Yeah, exactly. Buck in the rut isn't working.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you rather be able to survive freezing temperatures like a morning cloak butterfly, or camouflage perfectly like a leaf mimic butterfly? So you can freeze and survive, or be this sort of perfect camouflage. This one I'm really on the fence with because of hunting and survival.
Yeah.
They're both fantastic.
Tough one.
And we all three hunt here, so you think on that. Like the freezing thing, you wouldn't even need a tent or sleeping bag. You just lie in the snow and freeze and wake up the next morning.
Yeah, but do you wake up the next morning or do you wake up in the spring?
Oh, maybe you wake up in the spring. I don't know. But
Might not be bad either.
might not be bad. Or you could just like walk up to a tree and be perfectly camouflaged for your hunting.
I do like that
expeditions.
option. Yeah, I think I'm going that way. I'm curious to see like these morning cloaks when they unthaw, if they're just like, ready to go, start flying again, or if it's a real kind of like, all right, I gotta start learning to fly
Yeah,
again.
it's like a resurrection.
Yeah.
It's crazy. How about you,
I'll
Beth?
do the freeze thing. I've had too many cold feet when I'm
Okay.
out. So if you can freeze and recover from that,
It
I'll
would
do
be
that.
great. Like fall through the ice when you're ice fishing. Be like, don't worry about me.
I'm
Just
fine.
lay me on the ice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good. Okay, my last would you rather.
While we're on that,
Yeah.
when you doing the butterfly counts and you're chilling the butterflies, are there some that you would freeze and they would come back, or is it just that?
Yeah, if you caught a morning cloak, it could.
Yeah.
And I've got a crazy story about that. When I was a teenager, I was a bit of an amateur naturalist, so I would collect bugs and put them on pin boards on felt so I could identify them.
Yeah.
You probably did that too, Beth. And so in Germany, there's these hornets, and they're friggin' huge. And they said that, one of these hornets can kill a horse or kill a human. Like, they're very toxic. And so I'd carefully catch them in my nets. And then I thought, well, these things look great, but they're just buzzing around and deadly stingers. So I stuck them in the freezer for a couple of weeks and figured they were dead. And then I took them out and pinned them onto my felt board. You know where this is going. And then I went down for supper, came back in my room, and they were all alive on the pin board. And some of them had pushed their way off because they're strong, pushed with the, and they got a pin through their thorax, and they're flying around the room. I got a whole room full of these deadly hornets. So anyway, that came back to mind there. So yeah, careful. Bugs can freeze and
Come back alive.
come back.
Yeah.
Apparently octopus can do that too. Some creatures can do that.
Huh.
Frogs. Okay, my last would you rather. Would you rather go through metamorphosis once in your life and come out with a surprise new human identity? So you're going into a chrysalis and you're a brand new you. You don't know what you're going to be.
Yeah.
Or stay the same forever. Like, would you want to risk it? It's risky, but think maybe you're just like the best hockey player.
It's true.
Or
It's like a
maybe-
whole new life.
Yeah.
I might try it.
You would, eh?
Yeah.
How about you, Beth?
Oh, I'd wait till I was, well along in age, and then I'd try it.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I thought. I thought, wait till I'm on my deathbed. And I'd be like, okay,
Build me a cocoon.
I'll take the metamorphosis now. Yeah. But that is kind of crazy, to go into metamorphosis and come out as something completely different. It's just a wild thought.
Yeah. It's that's amazing. And like you say, like they turn into like a gel essentially inside the chrysalis, and then
Yeah. It all just
works out.
it all just
Somehow.
works out from a soup. From a soup.
Man,
Yeah.
crazy. Well, I'm excited for this tomorrow. I'm curious to see how it works out. Like, what's the do you have quite a few people that show up for these butterfly hunts, or like, what's the count kind of look like?
Different years we've had as many as 110 people out, and that was
Wow.
just unmanageable. Like Beth and I were
Too many
with the
butterflies.
ID. We almost needed to buckle down for 3 days and take out a magnifying glass. So small is beautiful with a butterfly hunt.
Yeah.
You can focus more on helping people out, and you can identify more readily. And yeah, so if we get sort of a dozen people, that's, in my mind, that's a good sort of maximum to aim for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, dozen, 15 maybe. Yeah.
If people want to get involved in butterfly counts, as you mentioned, there's that one website or group, and then iButterfly or eButterfly.
eButterfly.
Another one. Beth, you'd mentioned before, so we got butterfly counts. You guys do bird counts. Any other counts that you're a part of?
The Christmas bird count is similar, like it's a big citizen science count, and we in Hinton it's traditional December 26, and then we have a Brule count on December 27 as well.
Yeah. We've been involved with some plant watch stuff as well, so
Plant
watch, and the Cardinal Divide's quite common that folks will come from Edmonton and look at the wildflowers there.
Right.
And then we've Beth and I have done the owl prowl as well. So there's different ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Frog watch, amphibian watch. There's been some of those too, but not so much locally, as far as I know.
Yeah, like the more sort of structured ones that are available sort of across North America would be the Christmas bird count. We're involved in that. And then we do the butterfly counts, which get uploaded to eButterfly. If you have birds, if you're into birding, you can upload your observations to eBird. And again, that can is almost in real time. So people basically you're making a lot of data available for analysis and mapping. And then even iNaturalist is another program. It's more of this is a species you saw, but it'll enter it, and that can be used to extend distribution and ranges of plants. Especially, I like that one for plants.
Anything we're missing about butterflies before we wind this one down?
Oh, I think that was a good overview, George. And I just like to remind people, butterflies are like they fly under the radar, and we kind of get used to the fact that they're around, but they're really such an amazing world. Like once you start cracking that door open, you'll just be amazed at the biodiversity, the beauty of these creatures. Try it. You'll like it.
What got you into it?
I think Beth did, actually. I remember she talked to me about these butterfly counts. I mean, I've always been a bug hunter ever since I was a little kid. So that was kind of second nature, but I sort of ignored the butterflies, and I was focused on bigger, as we talked, charismatic mammals and that sort of thing. And then we did the first butterfly hunt I did. I was hooked. I was like, my goodness, this is fun and just so interesting. There's so much to learn.
Yeah, I love it. Beth, Whiskey Jack Club, WJ Club at TELUS.net. Any other events coming up that we should know about in the next few months that you got on the list?
We're going to do a thistle pull at the Beaver Boardwalk. We've done that.
Oh, yeah.
It's really hard to, sometimes right along the boardwalk, right by the water, so it's easiest just to pull them out.
Yeah.
And then the fall, we start in with our meetings again. So,
okay.
Yeah.
And I'll be doing an edible mushroom program. I do one a year. We usually advertise that through the Whiskey Jacks as well, but that'll be the last Friday of August. So
last Friday.
You know what? We'll get you out, George.
I know.
With
Last year, I
with
really
the
wanted
live
to be
recording stuff, and
that'd be fun.
We'll collect some mushrooms and we'll fry them up. And if you don't die, then you can tell people about it.
Yeah, perfect. If I do die, that's good for ratings too, Scott.
It's great for ratings.
Northern Rockies Bushcraft. Check out Scott. I mean, you can see pictures too of Scott's adventures and the madness on the McLeod. Listen to that episode because that's that's a wild one. We have some pretty interesting guests coming up too as we're getting into hunting season and a few things happening around town here. So thanks everyone that's been listening. This has been great. You can get a hold of us, wildernesswave@outlook.com. Thanks for coming on again, Beth. Always great chatting with you. And tomorrow we'll catch some butterflies.
Let's do it.
Okay. Until then, stay wild.
Wilderness Wavelength.